أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Last time we talked about the battle of Bani Qurayza, okay? And Bani Qurayza was the last tribe, Jewish tribe in Medina, and the Prophet ﷺ got rid of all of them. So there was no, after this, there was no Jewish tribes in Medina. There was Jewish tribe in Khaybar. We're going to talk about this later on. But in Medina, it was cleaned, totally cleaned.
Quick question I have.
Yes.
When will we finish the Qadr?
When we finish what?
Qadr.
Okay.
When
Surah Al-Qadr?
No. We talked about Tawakkul.
Yes.
And then we started talking about Al-Qadr. So
Okay.
we didn't finish. So I'm just wondering when is that?
No, we finished.
We finished.
Yes, I told you, or I told everybody, that inshallah after, the sister was just asking me about to talk briefly about both of them. But I said after we finish this inshallah, one of the things that I'm going to do is talk about individual subject of Islam. We're going to talk about tawakkul.
Right.
We're going to talk about sabr. We're going to talk about repentance. We're going to talk about mujahada. We're going to talk about everything. So there will be a specific subject every other week, inshallah. We're going to talk about it. Okay? But again, if you have a question, we can answer it. Okay?
For some reason, I thought we didn't finish.
No, the idea was just she just wanted a brief thing about these two subjects. So after the battle of Banu Qurayza, the Prophet ﷺ, as I told you before, the Prophet ﷺ, he ran a beautiful organization, and he have people, he have eyes, he have a scout, he have people looking everywhere, people traveling in Arabia, trying to get ideas here and news every place. So one of the tribes called Banu al-Mustaliq, Bani al-Mustaliq, the Prophet ﷺ heard from his scout that this tribe is a big tribe in Arabia, and they gather people and they mobilize their people and also some of the Bedouin, and they wanted to come and attack Medina. The Prophet ﷺ took initiative because like I told you before, he really, after Al-Ahzab and after Bani Qurayza, the Prophet almost have total control now, everybody, and this was one of these spots the Prophet had to deal with. The Prophet took initiative and he went to them, did not wait for them to come. So he came, he took a group of people and he went for them, and the first thing that they did, that they one of the eyes, or one of the people who the scouts for Banu Mustaliq, he was captured and was killed. And when Banu Mustaliq heard the Prophet ﷺ is coming to them, they ran in the mountain. So they really could not. And I want you to know one thing that and we're going to be talking about this inshallah, but one of the things is that we talked originally about the Prophet ﷺ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give me 5 things. If you remember, we talked about it. One of them, نصرت بالرعب مسيرة شهر. So the Prophet ﷺ, whenever he go to expedition or a battle, before he reach there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would cast fear on the hearts of the people. So they wanted to initiate the war, but when it really happened, when they know the Prophet ﷺ is on the march, they ran in the mountain and left. So the Prophet ﷺ, he captured everything and their cattle and everything like this. And one of the that was captured is Sayyida Juwayriyah radiallahu ta'ala anha. Not our Juwayriyah here, but Juwayriyah. But by the way, you guys still hear that she has a very good name she should be proud of, because this is the name of one of the Prophet ﷺ wives. And the Muslim actually captured everybody, and they took all the spoils of war. And Sayyida Juwayriyah bint al-Harith, which is the leader of the troops, were captured and was taken as a slave. And she was given to a guy by the name Thabit ibn Qais, because they distribute everything on the Muslims. And she is from the elite. Her father is, and she was a young woman. And she came to Rasulullah. There is something in Islam called al-mukataba. I don't know if you ever heard that. If you have a slave, they can do what we call mukataba, which means I am your slave. I can come to you and I say, I want to pay for my liberty, okay, for my freedom. And you can deal with me. You can say, I want this, but if you tell me, if you agreed, you have to give me some time to go outside and work and get that money. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَآتُوهُم مِّن مَّالِ الَّذِي Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, if you're a slave that you know that he is good. I want to tell you one thing. When Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, I don't know if you know this or not, lots of slaves went back to their masters. And the reason for that, they were slaves. Their parents were slaves. Their grandparents were slaves. They do not know how to take care of themselves. They have no idea. It's like when you have a domestic cat and you just let her go in the wild. That does not know what to do. You understand this? So some of the slaves, they cannot. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, in alimtum fihim khayra. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, let them go, free them, if you know that they are good enough to take care of themselves. Because you can let them go and they hurt themselves or hurt the society or become criminals. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in alimtum fihim khayra. If my slave, I know that he is good and he can take care of himself, even if he come back to me for an advice and stuff like this, yes, I should write that contract with him. Not only this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, وَآتُوهُم مِّن مَّالٍ. If the deal was $1,000 and I know it's going to take him a long time to give me that, I would give him $500 from my own money. So the deal. You understood this? So Juwayriyah went to the Prophet ﷺ. She said, Ya Rasulullah, أنا جويرية بنت الحارث. I am the daughter of the leader. And you know what harm happened to us. And I wanted to do mukataba with Thabit ibn Qais. I want to be freed. I do not want to be a slave. And I want to do mukataba. Would you help me? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, I have something better than that. I will pay the whole thing. I'm gonna marry you. I want to talk about something very important to us here. Very important, because I know two of you smiled. And no. I wanna. This is something very important for us to do. The Prophet ﷺ, when he was 25 years old, he married to Khadija, and the Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha was almost, some scholars say she was 50, some people say was 40. She was very old than him. And he lived with her for 25 years until he became 50 years old. He was not womanizing. He did not have time for that. And every marriage the Prophet ﷺ had, it was directed by the wahy. And I want you to understand. I'm gonna tell you the story. When the Prophet ﷺ married Juwayriyah, there was lots of captured people from that tribe. When the Prophet ﷺ when they became the in-laws of the Prophet ﷺ, the Muslims decided that they're gonna free everybody. So they freed everybody. In fact, Aisha anha, Sayyidah Aisha, there was no jealousy. Aisha anha, she said something beautiful. I'm gonna say it in Arabic and then I'm gonna translate. She say, ما أعلم امرأة كانت أعظم على قومها بركة منها. I have known no woman that brought that much goodness to her people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directed the Prophet to marry her, because when he did this and the Muslim freed most of the captured, they all became Muslims. They embraced Islam. Not only this, her father, which is the head of the Al-Harith ibn Abi Darar, Jawariya bint Al-Harith, her father, which is the leader, he came to the Prophet ﷺ. He did not know that the Prophet ﷺ freed her. He came and he say, I wanna pay the ransom for my daughter. So the Prophet ﷺ told him what he did in secret. You know, he wanted to bring some camels, stuff like this, as a ransom. And he had some talk with other people about that. Prophet ﷺ told him exactly what happened between him and the other people. And he immediately embraced Islam. He say, nobody knows this but I myself and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Prophet ﷺ, I want you to understand, and we're going to talk about Sittina Zainab bint Jahsh, because this is very important for us. The Prophet ﷺ was not marrying women because he just love women and stuff like this. That is not it. If this is him, he would not live for 25 years with an old woman, okay? And he loved her even more than Aisha anha. So everyone that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him to marry, there was a tremendous wisdom, because just having a tribe that become the in-laws of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the whole tribe will embrace Islam. So there was tremendous wisdom behind it. Now, after this ghazwa, the munafiqeen and the kuffar, they became to the conclusion that the Muslim will never be beaten in the battlefield, and there is no way we can overtake them. And how can we destroy this new society? And what they did is they started spreading rumors. And I just want to go back quickly. You remember Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, he was the #1 enemy of Islam. And he was going to be appointed as a king for Medina. And when the Prophet ﷺ came in, that was taken away from him. So he started spreading the seeds of dissensions and try to destroy the Muslim community from inside.
What's the name?
Huh? Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. Salul. This is the Ra's al-Nifaq. This is the head of the hypocrites. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned him in the Quran in a few places. So after the battle of Badr, he had no way, but he embraced the Islam, but he was munafiq. He just showed that he's a Muslim. But in Uhud, if you remember when we talk about Uhud, when he came with the Prophet ﷺ and he marched with him, and then once they meet the kuffar, he took 300 people and he left and go back to Medina, and he complained that the Prophet ﷺ listened to the young people, did not listen to him. And if this was the case, he would not even leave Medina in the first place. But he wanted really to do dissension, and he wanted to destroy the Muslim society. And if you remember when the Prophet ﷺ expelled Banu Qaynuqa, what he did, and Banu Qura, everything. And also in Al-Ahzab, he was one of the people who instigated the whole thing and they tried to get the kuffar to fight the Prophet ﷺ. So after all these things, they know that Muslims have the material superiority. They can never beat them. So they started really starting a launch and widespread of propaganda campaign to slander who now? They wanted to hit the Prophet ﷺ himself. And I want to talk about this because this is very important. If you look at all our countries, and I want you to understand that there is worldwide conspiracy, real conspiracy, worldwide war against Islam. And you have to be blind not to see it, okay? Everywhere. But in order to hit Islam hard, you have to hit the figures of Islam. When I prove that you are a crook, but you talk about Islam, this is the best way, because I can push people away from you. When I am a Muslim, when I'm a sheikh, when I am this and this and this, and people look up to me, and they found that I'm a crook, I'm a liar, I am this, I'm this, everything I say has no value. And this is how we attack Islam. Because they cannot attack the Quran, they cannot attack the Sunnah, they cannot attack anything because there is no ground. But when they attack the head of the Muslim or the figures of the Muslim, they would succeed. And the first thing that they did after Al-Ahzab, you remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the Prophet ﷺ to marry Zaynab bint Jahsh. Everybody knows the story of Zaynab bint Jahsh, okay? We're going to go over it quickly. But this was an earthquake in Arabia, because one of the things that was settled in their heart, something more than tawheed, that a man can never marry the wife of his adopted son. This is a no-no. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the Prophet ﷺ after he divorced Zaynab, which he was his adopted son, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him to marry her. And I want to remind you, wallahi, this is one of the things, and to me, some people attack the Prophet ﷺ for doing this, not for marrying the wife of that son. They attack him that he was a womanizing guy. This was one of the biggest trial in his life, because he knew. In fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blamed him for not executing this on time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he say, إذ تقول للذي أنعم الله عليه وأنعمت عليه أمسك عليك زوجك. Every time Zayd goes to Prophet ﷺ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspire him. He told him that you will marry Zaynab. So every time Zayd comes to him, Ya Rasulullah, Zaynab does not treat me well, he say, اتق الله وأمسك عليك زوجك. Be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hold on your wife, don't say anything. He knew that the divorce is gonna come. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, وَتَخْشَى النَّاسَ وَاللَّهُ أَحَقُّ أَن تَخْشَاهُ. You fear people and you should fear me. He does not fear people. He fear that when he is attacked, that's an attack on Islam. That's gonna drive people away from Islam. And Sayyid Qutb, he says something beautiful, that marrying Zaynab was not through the wahy, was through inspiration. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired him, ilham. But he say, if this was wahy, the Prophet ﷺ would never dare delay it. But because it was ilham, he wanted, I'm using the wrong word, he wanted to negotiate. He does not want to do it because he knew that this is gonna be devastating for Islam. So Abdullah ibn Ubay al-Salul and these people found it to be a beautiful chance to attack Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is what he called, he's a prophet, he is this, he's marrying a young woman, he fall in love with her, and this and this and this, and he took his adopted son wife, all these things. And this did a tremendous earthquake in Medina. Because even the Muslims, it is almost like an Isra wal Mi'raj, was so embedded in them that it had difficulty to swallow it. And to make things worse, before that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, you cannot marry more than 4 women. And this was his 5th woman. You understand this? So they had double dip. How they attacked the Prophet that how can you marry something like this? And it was so strict, so embedded in people's heart, even the Muslim, that there was an earthquake, and some people, they were really shaken by the rumors of that. So this was, he married his adopted son's wife. And also they say, how come he is not adhering to the Quran? You understand this? Not understanding that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is telling him to do it. You understand? So, but these attacks had tremendous negative impact on the moral of some of the weak-hearted Muslim. And until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayat, people were very comfortable, but initially, before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayat, that it was very, very bad for their morale.
But I remember when I was at school, the teacher, he said, gave us meaning of the ayat, وَتَخْفِفْ صَدْرَكَ اللَّهُ مُمْكِنًا.
Your love.
He said that he used to love her and he hid his love and
Okay, if he loved her, wouldn't he marry her in the first place? Not give it to in fact, when he asked Zaynab when he asked his brother and Zaynab from the first day, that she refused. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayah, وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا. Allah and his messenger, they decided that Zayd will marry Zaynab. So if he loved her, he would decide that him to this is maybe Abbas al-Aqqad and all these people who claim that they are Muslims and you know, and the Israelites, they say the Prophet ﷺ, you read in some of the commentary, the Prophet ﷺ goes inside and he saw her in a dress which was revealing, and he say, La ilaha illallah al-qulub bayna, garbage. Total garbage. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Wasn't she related to Sayyidina Muhammad?
She is his cousin.
Yeah, that's why she was seeing Zayd ibn Haritha, different lover than him. She was seeing herself different maqam.
She is from the elite. She is from the elite of Quraysh. And the Prophet ﷺ wanted her to marry a slave. He was not really a slave. He was not black, but he was a slave. He was the adopted son of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So neither her agreed, neither her brother, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayah that when Allah and his messenger decide something, you cannot fight it. So the whole thing is, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says something very nice. He say, وَتُخْفِي فِي نَفْسِكَ مَا اللَّهُ مُبْدِي.
this is what he
Which was, people say the love, okay? And if this is love, look at the length of the ayah. وَتَخْشَى النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ أَحَقُّ أَن تَخْشَى. If I love somebody and I really desire here, I really don't care about what anybody say. That's one thing. And he say, فَلَمَّا قَضَى زَيْدٌ مِّنْهَا وَطَرًا. When Zayd absolutely, positively does not want to have anything to do with her, there is absolutely no love left. زَوَّجْنَاكَهَا. We have you married her. Why? Because he loved her. لكي لا يكون. I ask you to marry her. لكي لا يكون على المؤمنين حرج. So after you do this, anybody who have adopted son there will no blame on them if they marry their daughter, if they divorce them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is Quran and Arabian. This is very clear. There is no ifs and buts about it. But anyhow, the Muslim, the weak-hearted Muslim, they were shaken, because this is something that was in Arabia for years and years. And the ulama say, once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayat, I mean, they were very comfortable with this. Now, when they came back, so this was a huge thing, and was not easy even for the Muslims themselves. When they came back from Ghazwat Banu Mustaliq, there was a slight fight between Al-Muhajirin and Al-Ansar. Not between the Muhajirin and Ansar, but one kid from Al-Muhajirin was fighting from a kid of Ansar, and he said, Ya Muhajirin, he's calling his Muhajirin, and the Ansar, he say, so there was, you understand what I'm saying? So Abdullah ibn Ubay Salul took a chance here. He said, this is, and he said something very nice from his point of view. He say, look at what we did. We brought these people, we accommodated them, we gave them housing, we gave them food, we gave them shelter, we made them citizen, and now they fighting us. Because somebody say, Ya Muhajirin, oh you, the people of Hijrah and the other people, you understand? But what he say, Sammin kalbaka ya'kulak. What he say, if you feed your dog until the dog becomes big and strong, he can come and bite you. So he is actually saying that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions are dogs that we fed them until they became strong, and now they are coming back to eat or to bite us. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam heard that, and he say, when we go back to Medina, la yukhrijanna al-a'azzu minha al-adhal. He say, when we go back to Medina, because he now brought some hatred in people's heart. Some people thought that the Muslims or the Muhajirin, this is their intention to take over and just forget about the Ansar. So he say, when we go back to Medina, the most honorable, referring to himself, will expel the meanest, the lowest of Medina, which means the Prophet ﷺ. So he is the honorable, and because they did this mistake, when we go to Medina, I the honorable, I will expel Muhammad, which is the humiliated or the lowest. And the Prophet ﷺ heard that. When his son, his name is Abdullah ibn Salul, okay? When he heard this, he rushed to Medina, and he stood by the entrance of Medina. And when his father came, he stopped him and he prevented him from going to Medina. قال والله أنت الأذل وهو الأعز. You are the lowest and he is the honorable, and you will never enter Medina until the Prophet, the honorable, will allow you to come. And Abdullah ibn Abi Salul, he went to the Prophet ﷺ, he say, because there was rumors that the Prophet ﷺ ordered people to kill Abdullah ibn Abi Salul. So he went to him and said, Ya Rasulullah, you know that all Arabs know that nobody was devoted for his father more than I am. I loved the man, was devoted for him. And I understand that you asking people to kill him. Do me a favor, ask me to kill him, because I do not want to see the killer of my father walking. I'm not going to be able to take it. And I do not want to kill a mu'min for a kafir. So if you thinking about killing him, order me to kill him. The Prophet he say no, we do not want to kill him, and these rumors is not true, and we will be good to him. لنحسن له ما بقي فينا. We will take care of him. We will be the best for him until he leave, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take that. Now, anything about these two things? So the marriage of Juwayriyah, the marriage of Zainab bint Jahsh radhiyallahu anha, and then what happened with Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul and the Munafiqeen. Now, one of the worst things that happened after the battle of Banu Mustaliq, when they were coming back, everybody knows about Hadith al-Ifk. Hadith al-Ifk, the slander affair, the slander talk about Aisha radhiyallahu anha. And if you remember, we talked about this extensively before, but if we need to, inshallah, we're going to talk about it anyhow. That the Prophet ﷺ, every time he goes to a battle, he would take one of his wives with him. And this was the time of Aisha. Who took Aisha? Aisha initially was very tiny woman, and she does not weigh anything. She very tiny, small, short, thin. So after the battle, when they were coming back, the Aisha anha, she had a necklace that she borrowed from her sister Asma. So when they came back and it was almost time for them to leave, she lost the necklace. So she went to try to look for it. And when it was time to leave, the women, they carry them on something called the hawdaj. Hawdaj means something on the camel that's covered, okay? So people who were supposed to carry Aisha and put her on the hawdaj, they came back and they took the hawdaj, and then Aisha Asad does not weigh anything, so they put the empty hawdaj on there, and the caravan left. And Aisha anha came back and the caravan left. So she said, I'm gonna sit. They're gonna miss me. They're gonna find out that I'm not there, and they're gonna come back and see me. Now, this was extremely painful for the Prophet ﷺ. This was one of the worst things that happened in Medina before the Prophet ﷺ died. So the Prophet ﷺ always used to have a scout, somebody who would be at the end of the caravan, and he would not leave with the caravan. He will let the caravan go, and maybe an hour or two after the caravan goes, he will take the same track to see if somebody left something, stuff like this. So he would collect whatever people would miss. And Safwan ibn al-Mu'til, who this is his name, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He was among the Muhajirin. The Prophet ﷺ knows him from Mecca, and he was at the end of the army. And when he came in, he saw Aisha, and Aisha she did not know that anybody coming, so she had her face exposed. And he knew Aisha before hijab was mandated.
So hijab was mandated.
Huh?
You said her face was exposed. Was that not allowed?
There was nobody there. She was in the desert.
Was not allowed to show the face.
No. Everybody used to show her face until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mandated hijab. That was for everybody. You understand this?
Yeah, but hijab is not covering face.
No. The Prophet ﷺ, his wives.
Just his wives.
No. If you can you can
بديها فرصة تتكلم على إنه اتكلمتوا عليه خليها وقت.
first, my wife is telling me something I do not understand. So what do you want? Can you تختمي عربي in Arabic?
كلمتك علشان تتكلموا على
يا خليها
So she wanna just okay.
هي بتتكلم
Okay.
على النقاب.
Hijab in general was not mandatory until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed that. And all the women in the masjid, when the ayah came in, they did not wait to go back home. And they cut a piece for their murut, which is something they used to put around their waist. So they cut something and they covered their head. But the Prophet ﷺ, his wives, they used to do niqab. Niqab means the hijab does not only cover their hair and the opening of the chest, but they also cover their face. Okay? But when she was sitting there by herself in the desert, she did not have the niqab on her face.
No, I understand. I was just wondering if it was mandatory on the women.
No. Only on the Prophet's wives. يا نساء النبي لستن كأحد من النساء. They were prohibited from speaking softly. They had they were mandated things which is beyond the belief. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, even when you talk to men, you have to change your voice. Don't speak like a woman speak. Okay, don't speak softly. And even when you talk to them, من وراء حجاب, you have to have a veil, because لستن كأحد من النساء, because when a regular woman make a mistake, is different from, you understand? Okay, so Aisha anha, she was sitting there not covering her face, of course covering her hair but not her face. And she say, Safwan knew me from before that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mandated that. So he say, Assalamu alaikum, Ya dha'inat Rasulillah, Assalamu alaikum, Ya wife of Rasulullah. And she said, he put his camel on the earth, and she climbed, and he took the camel and he moved. She said, Wallahi, we did not exchange one word until we came to Medina. Okay? Now, Abdullah ibn Abi Salul and the Munafiqeen, they took that chance also, and they accused Aisha anha with the unspeakable. Okay? The thing about this, that some of the Muslims also spread the rumors. And the thing that happens, Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul never himself in the open talk about it. He had people who sit with the Muslims and stuff like this, and it seems like a natural thing. Everybody's talking about it, so some of the Muslims, whether they believe it or not, but stupidity, that they also started talking about it. I just wanna, there is tremendous lessons about this. First of all, the Prophet ﷺ, he loved Aisha ta'ala. But when the rumors started in Medina, for almost a month there was no revelation. Jibreel did not come down, and the Prophet ﷺ heard it from several people. And one of the things that happened, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed lots of ayat in this. Abu Ayyub al-Ansari, which is the one who hosted the Prophet ﷺ initially in Medina, was sitting with his wife. He say, Ya Ayyub, if you were in the position of Aisha, would you betray the Prophet? She said no. He say, Aisha is better than you. So how can we even address that? How can we even talk about it? If you say no, how can anybody betray the prophets? If you cannot do it, if you have the goosebump when you hear that, Aisha is better than you. And I know Safwan ibn Mu'tal is much better than me. He's from the Muhajirin. He left everything for Allah. And he would never, I can never betray the Prophet. How can I believe that a Safwan? That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he revealed that, he said, لَوْلَا إِذْ سَمِعْتُمُوهُ. When you hear that nonsense, قُلْتُمْ أَنَّ هَذَا سُبْحَانَكَ هَذَا بُهْتَانٌ عَظِيمٌ. Glory to you. This cannot be. And the ulama say something beautiful. When somebody come to me and they say, I saw somebody doing something bad. If I initially believe that, I am really thinking of myself. You understand this? When somebody comes and say, this person commit an atrocity, commit something really bad. If I do not give him an excuse, if I do not say that cannot be, I know the person. If I believe it, that is reflection to who you really are. Because when you believe that he does it, you actually believing that he can do it. But when you believe that he cannot do it, how can you believe that somebody else do it? You understand this? That's why لولا إذ سمعتموه قلتم ما يكون هذا سبحانك هذا بهتان عظيم. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed few ayat, and we talked about this before, but is everybody knows the story, or I do not have to go through it? Huh? Everybody knows the story. Okay. Now, what we learn from this? This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he say, لا تحسبوه شرا لكم. First of all, this was the worst month in the life of the Prophet and in the life of the Muslim community. Because when Aisha does something like this, that break Islam from its foundation and break the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he say, لا تحسبوه شرا لكم بل هو خير لكم. Which means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he say, I put you through this so you can learn something. First of all, people who pay the price, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Aisha and their reward will be beyond the belief. And for you, the Muslim, you have to be thoughtful. You have to think positively about your brother and sisters in Islam. You cannot just buy any rumor that people talk about them. لا تحسبوه شرا لكم. Don't think that is a bad thing for you. بل هو خير لكم. عائشة رضي الله عنها, when she heard about this, she was sick, and the Prophet ﷺ used to be very nice to her. And she asked him, she does not know, she did not hear anything about this. When she told him, the Prophet ﷺ was not nice to her. And she said, can I go to my parents' house to be treated there? He allowed her to go. And one day he went, and that was at the peak of the rumors. And he talked to her, he say, if you ever did something wrong, repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that was a bullet that hit her in the heart. And she said, what do you want me to say? والله لا أقول إلا كما قال يوسف فصبر جميل والله المستعان على ما تصفون. She say, what do you want me to say? You want me to say something that I did not do? So she say, I am not going to answer you. Just for you to ask me the question, either I admit to something that I did not do, or I deny something that ye have doubt in it. The only answer I can tell you is the answer of Yaqub عليه السلام. فصبر جميل, beautiful patient, والله وصبر جميل والله ايه الآية بتقول ايه ها؟ والله المستعان على ما تصفون. Allah subhanahu, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help me about what you are talking about. At this point, Jibreel alayhi salam came and he revealed the ayat. إن الذين جاءوا بالإفك عصبة منكم لا تحسبوا شر لكم, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala جزاكم الله خيرا. So her mother told her, go thank the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ, Jibreel came and he revealed the ayat, and the Prophet ﷺ immediately recited the ayat. So everybody was happy except Aisha, and her mother told her, go and thank the Prophet ﷺ. She said, Wallahi, I do not thank him. I thank Allah, not him, because Allah is the one who, you know, now, what do we learn from this? If the Prophet ﷺ was faking this Quran, would he torture himself and torture the Ummah for more than a month, and to go to Ali and to go to this and to go to this and ask, what do you think of Aisha? Do you think of Aisha? He would immediately, if he was fake, he would immediately say something as if this is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to show that she never did anything wrong. It also showed us that he is a prophet, and the revelation is not something within his reach. It's not, I want the revelation, I want the Jibreel to come now. He does not come. It only come by the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He would forge a lie if he was, I want to see that my wife is gonna give me the
She put in the bottle on the edge of the
no, don't explain.
You are going to miss your notes.
Inshallah Rabbil Alameen, I will do everything to please you. Just leave me alone. One of the things that we need to understand, that the Prophet ﷺ is a human being. He feel, he love, he hate. He has all the feeling of human beings. The only difference between us and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he was Rasul. So when it comes to Risala, when it comes to revelation, that is the tremendous edge. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not send us an angel. He sent us a human being. That's why none of us can say the obligation of Islam is too much for me. Because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had doubts when people talk about Aisha radhiyallahu anha. And he was feeling really bad. He was feeling pain as a human being. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not send us an angel or somebody that he can take things that we cannot take. Huh?
5 minutes left, and we would like to talk about that case.
Yes, I'm gonna stop here, inshallah Rabbil Alameen, and